Welcome back to the Wild West Farmer. My name is Casey. I'm a farmer here from West Texas, and today we are about to jump into a muddy harvest. Yesterday we pulled 2 modules, kind of gave our equipment a test run in this mud to see what the actual conditions are of the fields. The conditions are not ideal. There's a 50% chance of rain coming Sunday and Monday, possibly an inch of rain. That is not going to be very good for our crop. We have received 5 inches of rain over the past 10 days. We've been out of the field for, I think it is 11 days. Today would be technically the 12th day. So we've been gathering up all our equipment, hauling it into the field, and we're gonna give it a whirl and get after it. We got 315 acres left. I do not think we'll be able to finish, but today we have a 6-hour run, tomorrow a 6-hour run, and Saturday possibly another 6 hours, so 18 hours of working time. I don't know if that'll be enough time to finish what we need to do. As you can tell, the cotton here looks pretty sad. It's strung out. It's just weathered. This is what 5 to 6 inches of rain does to a crop. The soil here is just muddy. It's not gonna pull good. It's gonna tag really bad. As you can tell yesterday where I was running, there's a lot of this type of cotton that stays on the stalk. The reason that is the moisture in the atmosphere is high. The moisture on the ground is rising up. This cotton is not completely dry like we're used to seeing in the other videos. So it's just gonna tag and pull hard. Time to get after it and get stuff done. Hope y'all stay tuned and enjoy the video. We've been running about an hour. No one's got stuck yet. Everything's working just right. We're really moseying along pretty good. Maybe the ground's just got just enough texture in it where everyone's tires are not slipping. We're doing good so far. This crop here really struggled this year. As you can tell, the thinness in it. This cotton was planted and we received 7 inches of rain, just about a week after. It's trying to emerge out of the ground. Got 7 inches of rain. Really hurt it. We probably should have replanted it. I didn't want to come back in here and replant this crop because then the maturity of the crop would be different. Little did I know. Wait about a month later after this crop was emerged, maybe 2 months, I think is late June, this field got almost held out. I might throw a clip in here of the picture of what this crop looked like right now. Talk about get some hail damage here. Leaves all on the ground. This cotton is it's had fits all year. So I don't know. Some of these plants, depends on how they call them. That one still got a terminal in him. You know, that one got his terminal chopped out. And then bebop along and we received 6 inches of rain, 5.5 inches of rain on this crop before it got harvested. So it's had a very rough life. Nothing here has just worked real smooth. This cotton was had no fertilizer. I didn't do anything special here. August 1st, I said, let's just turn the pivot on, and we turned the pivot on and gave it all the water we could give it. And I think it made a great crop. It's probably making around 2 bale cotton here. So blessed to have what we have, but it could have been better. Stripping in the mud. There's no other way to do it. This is just what happens when you get this much rain, and we'd never get done if we kept waiting. So stay after it until we get it done. 120 acre circle. It's got one corner. The other corners are in houses or a lake. As you can tell, all this area right here, if I were to draw you a circle, this little piece that makes out right here, this is the flood zone of the lake. We lost 10 acres of cotton here earlier this year due to flood. It's a lot of cotton to lose just on a 60 acre patch. The cotton that gets close to the flood zone here, it's pretty thin and washy. I mean, this just, it washed out. It washed it out of the ground. Luckily, we saved the crop that we could. Even though this crop is thin and choppy, it's still yielding pretty good. So I'm happy with that. This particular farm of mine probably had the most amount of battles to battle for the year. So the goal here is to get 97-98% of this crop here off the stalk. The other 3% we're not too concerned with, seeing the circumstances that we're having to harvest in. Might say, well, what about that other 3%? You know, at this point, it doesn't matter. That 3% is not going to make us. It's not going to break us. Would we like to get it? You bet. It's just physically impossible with the humidity, the dirt being wet, and the conditions we're having to harvest in right now. All right, I got to stop. I've got a stalk in my header here and over there. We're jerking the stalks out of the ground. Just finished this field up, did real good. I think it made almost 2 bales, which is a real big blessing, seeing the circumstances that it was dealt. So we're about to jump back on the highway here. We have a real short move, about a half a mile, and we've got another, I think, a 45 acre block right up here. Well, just pulled in this real pretty patch of cotton. Too bad it got rained on. The field here's a little muddier than the one that we just got off of. This was deep broke 2 years ago. And you can feel it in your machine kind of walking. Tires are catching a lot of mud here. We're gonna run into trouble before too long on this field. Steer tires are caking up with mud. When you go to turn or try to stay on the row, the tires just slide instead of turn you. So this cotton's doing pretty good. Luckily we're able to go pretty slow. I don't know, this time we're just ready to get it done, get it out of here. These 3 big 8-row machines will take out a lot of cotton in a few hours. We ended up getting 9 modules pulled on the last farm on 50 acres, so right at 2 bales. This is 45 acres. I think we've already pulled 3 modules, so this field is doing quite a bit better. This is one of my brother's fields. Super blessed to be able to get to harvest it, and super blessed it's still in the field waiting for us to harvest it. It's just a challenge to get it out, but that's what farmers do. We plant it to harvest it. We're having some problems jerking stalks out of the ground. I guess the soil's so saturated when the bats and brushes hit it, it just boop, pops it out of the dirt. Guys, this is fun. Stripping in this mud, you just don't know what's gonna happen. You be going along and you start spinning, then you get on high ground, and man, it just kind of keeps the pace of the day. You're on full alert the whole time. Right there's another one of those lightning strikes. You know, you lose some yield with lightning strikes, but if it wasn't for the storm, you wouldn't have a crop. So no complaints on having a couple lightning strikes. That's just part of farming. Some of the biggest challenges we're running into is stripping this cotton where the ground's just black, muddy, real sticky. We can't let our row units touch the ground. If our row units touch the ground and start sliding any, it just cakes up mud. If the mud gets in the row unit, the bats and brushes, it really won't affect those, but it affects the row augers that run beside the bats and brushes. Those row augers will get mud in them. And as that auger turns, kind of like a drill bit, it'll get hot and it'll actually bake that mud into those grates down there. And it's a real son of a gun to get them cleaned out. Those grates are important because that's kind of the first step of actually cleaning this cotton. The bird extractor cleans it, but all the grates you see in the cross auger and in the row units is for the leaves and the trash to start falling out as the mechanical parts of the machine start hitting the cotton. So you want all those holes open so the leaves and stuff will fall out of the cotton as it's stripped off the stalk. Into these fields that we're having to strip right now, and we'll have to plow them, we'll have to broom them out somehow. Generally we would come back and plant them in a cover crop. Us tearing up the fields and packing the fields really hard. Those bull buggies, the wheels on those bull buggies are kind of rounded, and I mean they will pack the ground harder than concrete. So it'll bake and it'll make a mess. So we'll have to come back and groom these fields up before we'll be able to plant wheat on them, or rye for a cover crop, depending on which crops we are planning on planting these fields in next year. Depends on the timing of when we'll do that tillage. But it's a blessing to get the rain. I really thought it would be hindering us harder, but our machines really seem to be holding up pretty good on this ground. We haven't fell through too bad. There's a couple places, especially yesterday, fell through the ground pretty bad quite often. So there's a significant difference in between today and yesterday.
Or not. Looks like we made it.
It's wet. So the biggest concern with this ground being wet and the rain that we've received is the atmosphere is naturally going to be wet with the rain. Cotton has to be harvested dry. It helps it clean out at the gin. It helps the ginning process of the cotton. So it's really important that we do a good job harvesting it dry so the gin can do that job. That way the gin, or that way our bale will be marketed in the best way possible due to the grade of the actual lint of the cotton. So we don't want to harvest it wet. So the problem is with the mud and the circumstances we're dealing with right now is the atmosphere is wet. So we're getting really limited days of harvest right now due to we can only harvest certain times of the day. Well, when the sun starts going down early, like today, we started at 1 and at 6, so we ran 5 hours. You know, last week we were running 10 and 12-hour days, 14-hour days. So we were doing 3 times the amount of what we're able to do now. So now it's going to take 3 times as long to harvest. Well, I guess that concludes today, the first day of muddy harvest. Tomorrow's probably going to be muddier because the field we're going to is notorious for being extremely sloppy. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.